You will be representing alternate housing on Elm Street. At your station, students will pay for alternate housing for their family, which means renting apartments, moving in with friends, or staying at a homeless shelter. Students may also sell their belongings in a yard sale or rent a storage locker if they have found themselves with too little space because they've had to downsize their living arrangements. The resources that you will need for this station are the alternate housing records that you see on the screen. Also, you will need the alternate housing option card that looks like this. You will also need the homeless shelter status cards that look like this. You will need a pencil. And you will need a stamp marker or stickers if that's how you're set up. So the first thing that you're going to do if a student comes to your station and they have exhausted all their other options, if they've either sold their home because they were running into financial issues or if their home was repossessed, they're going to need to find another option of housing. They are not allowed to not have housing during the game. Obviously that would make them homeless. So here are the options that they have, and they're all on this card. The first thing is to rent. They can rent a 2-bedroom apartment for $900 plus an extra $900 damage deposit when in the first month. Obviously, they have bad credit at this point, so if they miss one payment, they will be evicted from the apartment. They can also see if they have a friend who could put them up. However, in doing that, it would cost their friend about $500 a month extra to house them, so they have to have a friend that would be willing to pay that. If they do have that, then they can surely stay with them for a while. Homeless shelter is an option too, but they have to qualify first, and if there is room, that's great, but if there's not room, they may have to stay in separate homeless shelters or find some other option. It can be very tricky with the homeless shelters. So let's talk about each of these options and how you would mark this on your records. So if the student chooses to rent the 2-bedroom apartment, and that would be in this first column here. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to circle the $900 and circle the deposit. That means they're going to have to pay $900 plus $900, which is $1,800 total. So if they pay that in that whatever month it is, you'll X that month, that particular month. If they do that and they satisfy that, then you will be able to go onto their home, onto their game board, onto the home area, and stamp whatever month that pertains to with the stamp marker. Now, if they miss one payment, as I said, they will be evicted and they will have to find alternate housing again. So if they're evicted, you're going to X or check mark the evicted box, and you're going to write whatever plan, alternate housing plans that they decide on. Now, if the student chooses to move in with friends, which is this box right here, they are going to have to first find a friend that's willing to help them. If they can find a friend, the friend needs to realize that they're going to bear the burden of housing them by paying more for utilities and food. For a family of 5, this is going to add up to about $500 per month. So the friend must agree to pay this each month. The student will need to bring the friend to your station, to guarantee, so the friend can guarantee that they will pay that amount. So you'll record the friend's name on the line here, and then you'll take their payment of $500 right here. And you'd want to circle that just so you know that that's the way that they're going to go. Once they pay, then you can X the number of the month that pertains to. And then again, you can go to your home box on the game board, and then you are going to stamp with the stamp marker whichever month that pertains to. Now, the friend must come back each month to pay, and if they don't, then the family will not be able to stay with them any longer, and they must find alternate housing again. Okay, so the only other option left at that point is the homeless shelter, unless they plan to live on the streets, which we find that unacceptable within the game. It's not just automatic, though, that they can go to the homeless shelter and stay there. They're going to have to they'll have to apply and they'll have to be accepted for that opportunity. So to do that, they're actually going to choose one of the cards, the homeless shelter status cards. These are cards that will be at your station, and they're going to be upside down so the students can't see what's on them. If they pick the card that says congratulations, we have room for your family at the homeless shelter, then they will be able to stay there, and that's a good thing. So what you'll do, you should record how long the homeless shelter is giving them a stay. And in this case, it's 1 week. So you would write on your record, you would write 1 week. So that is only going to take care of part of the month. So it's kind of a problem because they're not going to be able to necessarily take care of their home need on their game board. But they will be able to come back each week and to draw another card. Each week that they draw, they can either get a congratulations card or a sorry card. And so if it's sorry, that means that there's no room at the shelter, but they can keep checking back every day until they have an opening. So all of the options on this page are too small for them to keep their belongings because, as you remember, they started with a house full of belongings, and then they keep downgrading little by little. So they've got a lot of belongings, and they're going to have to figure out what to do with their stuff. So their choices are laid out on this alternate housing option card at the bottom. It says that they can have a yard sale, and they can earn $400, or they can store their stuff in a storage locker, and they can pay $100 per month. So whichever way they go, you're going to check mark that. So if they want to have the yard sale, they would actually, one time they would get $400. You would pay them, and then you would just mark off everything because they've taken care of their belongings needs at that point. If they want to do the storage locker, they would pay $100 a month, and you would X the area that, or the month that pertains to. And they just have to know that one way or another they have to take care of their stuff, whichever way they decide. So that takes care of all the housing options for the alternate housing and for the housing options. So just remember that whatever way they can fulfill their need for a home, that gets marked on here. But there's various different ways that they can go about getting that. Thank you.